What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is the second Quentin Tarantino review. This time we will be reviewing Pulp Fiction, his second film, which was released in 1994, and this has an ensemble cast. I mean, what a fantastic cast of actors in this movie. You get John Travolta, who is great, Samuel L. Jackson, who is probably the standout to me in anything he's in, Tim Roth, awesome, Uma Thurman is great, Bruce Willis does a great job. So overall, fantastic cast. That's the first thing I want to say about this movie. This movie feels a lot like Reservoir Dogs, but with a little bit more meat, a little bit more character development. Now, in Reservoir Dogs, things were kind of kept so close to the vest about certain characters. With this film, there's still a little bit more of that. However, we do get some character dynamics that work so well, including John Travolta's character, Vincent. I thought his character was fleshed out really well. We get to see the way he reacts to certain situations, the way he thinks, and the way that he tries to kind of contain himself in the world that he's living in as a kind of low-for-rent hitman for this guy named Mr. Willis. Samuel Jackson's character is also really fleshed out here because him and Vincent, they have this partnership, but they're two dynamically different people. And that's what makes it so interesting when they're on screen together, because they complement each other so well that it almost becomes kind of reality for me. I wasn't looking at this like, oh, this is Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta just acting. I felt like they were two totally fleshed out characters that had really good character dynamic, great on-screen chemistry. And the movie just, it kept going and kept going and kept going, and it was really fast. I found myself to be very fascinated with the way the story revolves around all of these characters, how there are all these different plot points that all land together, and it feels so smooth the way that this movie's edited. I mean, not a lot of films can be edited this way, where you have, boom, certain characters here having this one story, another group of characters here having another story, and then these characters who we've already seen a little bit in previous kind of stories are now in another scene together in their own type of story, and that really worked nicely. I found the movie to be very quick. It was moving fast. The jokes hit hard. They hit fantastically. I never felt like the movie dragged, or I never felt really bored. And that's one thing that I will say about Tarantino. He keeps things moving at a very interesting pace. He has a very interesting and distinct visual style, because watching this movie, I couldn't help but think of Reservoir Dogs. And I like that about Tarantino. He has his own voice, his own style, his own way to tell a story. And I love that about his films. Now, the plot revolves around a lot of different things. For example, you know, Bruce Willis's character, he's a boxer, but he's trying to get away from the gangs. You have Uma Thurman's character, who is the wife of the notorious gang leader, who ends up kind of going on a date, quote unquote, with John Travolta's character, and then you have some problems there when it comes to a certain tragedy that happens between both of them. So there are all these really nice, intricate plot points of like plot A to plot 8.3 to plot 8.5. A lot of what we saw in Reservoir Dogs, but this is at a bigger scale. I'll also say my favorite scene had to have been Christopher Walken, because that, and he's only in a small fraction of the movie, comes in a little bit towards the beginning of the film, where he gives the watch to Bruce Willis's character when he's a kid, and he explains where he had to hide the watch. And it's hilarious, and I thought that was one of the best scenes in the entire movie, because it kept me guessing and it kept me laughing. Now, all of these stories are flushed out in a way where we get to see the dynamics of each and every character. We get to see the tragedies that besought them, we get to see the aftermath, and we get to see kind of how all of these stories intertwine. They're not all told from a beginning, here's the end perspective. It's not like that at all. We start off at a diner with two robbers trying to pull off a robbery, to all of a sudden, the movie just goes right from there, doesn't even finish that plot point, and then we get into Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta's hitmen characters as they try to go and grab this briefcase from some people who crossed the gang. So there are a lot of interesting ways that this story is told, but they all unfold together, and it kept me guessing. This was the first time I'd ever seen the movie. I'd never seen Pulp Fiction. I know I'm a huge movie buff. I cannot believe I've never seen it until today. But I'll say this, the movie kept me guessing because I wanted to see how they were going to unravel this story, how they were going to also try to complete this story with all of the characters, all of the different arcs we've seen, and I thought it was fleshed out really nicely. We got some really good character moments. We got to see some great on-screen chemistry from a lot of different characters, and I had a blast with this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was funny, and it really is Tarantino at his best. And this is his second film, so he learned a lot from Reservoir Dogs. A lot of similar actors are used from Reservoir Dogs in this movie, with including actors who were in Reservoir Dogs into this movie. It has that very gangster vibe, has a very like vintage Hollywood vibe, and that's what I love about Tarantino. He makes his movies the way he wants to make them. He tells a story the way he wants to tell them. I had a blast with Pulp Fiction, so definitely check out Pulp Fiction if you have not. I'm sure you all have because you're better movie fans than me. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Pulp Fiction? Let me know your comments down below. Make sure you guys like this video. Subscribe to my channel for more Tarantino reviews coming soon. Jackie Brown is the next one on the list. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.